Imagine this. Your teenage daughter calls you crying because 6 grown women have cornered her in public. They're screaming at her, calling her unchristian, and demanding she play happy family with the same grandparents who once called her a bastard, all because she exposed her father's affair. That was my daughter's 17th birthday. And let me tell you, that was the day I decided enough was enough. If you've ever wished you could serve justice to manipulative, self-righteous people who think they're untouchable, hit that like button right now. Subscribe for more true revenge stories, and buckle in, because this story has betrayal, manipulation, and one of the most satisfying endings you'll ever hear. I'm a 46-year-old mom of 2 amazing daughters, 17 and 15. We've been through hell this past year. My ex-husband died in a sudden accident, and you'd think his family would have treated us with compassion. But here's the kicker. Before he died, he'd been cheating on me. Not just a fling. A full-on affair, complete with 2 secret children. And when he and his affair partner both died, those poor boys were left orphans. Now here's where it gets worse. His parents, my ex-in-laws, decided that somehow, my daughters, and I owed them something. They tried to take custody of my daughters. They tried to move into our house. They tried to guilt my girls into being good big sisters to the children who were living proof of their father's betrayal. And when we said no, they turned to manipulation, lies, even religious guilt. Let me take you to the weekend market. Normally, it's one of our happy places. Fresh produce, local eggs, handmade chocolates. That Saturday was extra special, my youngest's birthday. I gave her a budget and told her, buy whatever makes you happy. After an hour, though, my mom instincts kicked in. She hadn't come back. Just as I reached for my phone, it rang. Her voice was trembling, crying. Mom, some women, they won't leave me alone. I grabbed my older daughter, and we ran. And there she was, my youngest, cornered by 6 older women. Their voices were sharp, scolding, dripping with false righteousness. Why don't you spend time with your grandparents? You should be a good sister to your poor orphaned brothers. What kind of Christian refuses their family? My daughters are still in therapy from the trauma of discovering their father's affair, and now these women were piling on the shame. Something in me snapped. I stepped between my daughter and the mob. My oldest took her sister's shopping bag, and I told her, go to the car, now. Then I turned on the women. My hands were shaking, but my voice was ice. How dare you harass a child? How dare you tell her she's unchristian when you don't even know the pain she's been through? Their faces twisted in judgment. One of them sneered, you should obey your in-laws, be a good Christian wife. My ex was dead. The irony nearly made me laugh in their faces. The argument got so heated, the market manager kicked all of us out. And still, these vultures followed us to the car, circling, shouting, pecking at my dignity until I slammed the door shut and drove off. That was the moment I decided they were not going to win. That night, after my girls finally went to bed, I logged into Facebook, and my stomach dropped. My ex-mother-in-law had written a novel in the church's private group. A sob story, casting herself as the helpless, abandoned widow. According to her, I had stolen everything: money, home, family. She said my daughters were cruel, refusing to speak to her, leaving her homeless and penniless. And the worst part? She rewrote history. She claimed my ex's affair partner was actually a surrogate, because I couldn't have more children. She said I rejected the babies just because they were boys. I was disgusted. And of course, the church members ate it up. Heart emojis. Prayers sent. People calling me heartless. My daughters selfish. Offers to adopt my ex-in-laws as surrogate parents. But then, I remembered something important. This church is extremely strict about cheating. It's one of their hard lines. Affairs are unforgivable. and I had all the receipts. By some stroke of dark luck, I still had a mountain of evidence from my divorce preparations. Photos, text messages, emails, proof of the affair. Proof that his parents knew. Proof they'd harassed me and, worst of all, bullied my daughters, calling them bastards, telling them it was their fault their father died. 2 days after his death, they said this. To children. The anger in my chest turned into something colder, sharper. Revenge. The next day, I went to a print shop. I paid extra for the highest quality paper. The pictures of my ex with his mistress, their conversations, the in-laws' disgusting messages. Then I got creative. I assembled everything into binders that looked almost exactly like the church's. Hymn packets, clean white covers, neat lettering. Inside, the love story of my ex and his affair partner. First page, a glossy, crystal-clear photo of them making out in my living room, their faces unmistakable. Her hair and skin a completely different look than mine. Underneath I wrote, ex-husband's name and mistress's name, a love story. And just to drive the nail in, I included their parents' text messages calling my daughters names. Every cruel word they'd ever said. Then, the final touch. I slipped the binders onto the desk at the back of the church, where people pick up their songbooks, and waited. Church gossip spreads faster than wildfire. By Monday, the Facebook group was in chaos. Comments flooded in. Shock, anger, disgust. People were calling my ex and his mistress names so vile the pastor had to step in and remind them to keep it Christian. The in-laws? Suddenly, they weren't martyrs anymore. They were co-conspirators in the cheating scandal. Worse, they were exposed as abusers of their own granddaughters. And the beauty of it? I wasn't blamed. At least, not much. Sure, a few holier-than-thou members still scolded me for divorcing, but even they admitted, after such betrayal, it's understandable she lost her way. I even received 2 letters of apology, one to me and one to my daughters, and the church of all places invited me back for support. But my ex-in-laws? They were shamed right out of the congregation. They deleted posts. They cried about being abandoned. My ex-mother-in-law ranted online about how no one cared for the elderly. She claimed her great son would have taken care of them if he were alive, which was laughable. My ex couldn't take care of himself, let alone them. I was always the breadwinner. Here's what made it so satisfying. For months, my daughters had felt powerless, like their father's betrayal defined them, like their grandparents' lies would always drown out their truth. But with one stack of binders, we took back control. We exposed the hypocrisy. We showed the world exactly who these people were. And for the first time in a long time, my daughters smiled. Revenge doesn't erase the hurt. It doesn't undo betrayal. But sometimes it restores balance. My daughters finally saw that justice can be served, that people who try to control the narrative with lies eventually choke on the truth. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. Comment below, what's the most satisfying revenge you've ever witnessed? And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories where karma finally catches up.